guys, it's Mark from Cambria Hobby again, and we're continuing on the build of the Cyclops E. Right now, what I'm going to do is work on the tail of the Cyclops E, and I am putting in the T-tail. I'm building a T-tail for this. I'm not going to use the V-tail. I wanted to use the T-tail on this. It gives me a couple of options that way. If I wanted to put my antenna for my video towards the back here, I could do that. With the V-tail, it would be a little bit harder the way that I was looking at doing it, because I usually use a V-type antenna. So what I've done is I went ahead and I mounted the HS 65 MGs in the back. I did have to cut it out a little bit more. As you can see, I cut it back, made sure it came up to about, was on the bottom. Also what I did is we had small pieces of wood that go into where the control horn goes. And I'll go ahead and pull this tape off and show you what it looks like. It's been setting in there. Excuse me for giving you an... Okay, so right now what I've done is I've glued the pieces of wood in there, and what I'll do is that my control horn will get screwed right to that. I may use long screws and then put something towards the back, but I'll decide that later. So I've gone ahead and put the servo on that side. I've also put the servo on this side. They're run down. The wires are run down. Let's see if you can see that without me. I'll just pull it out for the time being. Okay, so what I've done is I've run them all the way down. Also, what I've done for my connection is I took the ends off, so the plastic ends, and I make my own extensions. So what I did is I went ahead and I just made my extension, then I plugged it in, and then I put heat shrink on it. It takes up a little bit less space, and this square rod will end up laying right inside here afterwards, and lay right on top of that, and it'll be pretty flush overall. When I push this down, it gets pretty flush. So I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, it does stay pretty flush. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that, and I'm also will go ahead and I'm going to glue my thin rods in here. I did get a piece of number 14 wire and I put it through here. I just wanted a little bit more stability on the back, so I put that on. And I'll go ahead and build this out. So what I've done is I've taken the longer rod and I've slipped it in to the holder here, and then this whole thing will lay in here. I'm going to glue that in also. That'll lay in there. So this is the top portion of it, and then of course this is the bottom piece of wood is here. The tail rudder portion will go ahead and fit in, and then we have this piece that is going to lay right in here like so. I'm not going to glue that. There's no reason to glue it because it's going to take some screws and screw it right together. So that should be all very easy to do. And let's see what else. And that's about it. I'm using a combination of different glues. I'm using E600 glue, and I'm also using the UHU-POR or UHU-POR, UHU-POR, whatever you want to call it. I'm not using any of the CA on this. I didn't like the way that it held. I did some tests with it and I didn't care for the way it held. And I also tried this Foam-tastic stuff. I didn't care the way that it held either. So I went back to the old dependable UHU-POR, and I'm also trying this E600 out. Now I know this E600, you got to be very careful because it will, if you put too much in one spot, it will make the foam very soft. So anyway, this is Mark from Cambria Hobby again. As you can see, we will be working on this tail section, and as soon as I get it completed, I will come back and I will show you what it looks like. It's Mark from Canberra Hobby again. So what I've done, this is the tail section, of course, and I am doing the T-tail. And what I've done is I've went ahead, and I think I showed you in the earlier video, I glued the holder down onto my tail section. Make sure when you do glue the holder down that you have the square tubing in, and you also go ahead and set up your, let's see here, let me go around to this side, it's more light, set up your connection portion, and make sure everything is in there nice and snug, and this way it'll keep the connection for the connecting tube to the from the tail to the fuselage. It'll connect that, it'll make a good connection, let's put it that way. It'll make it nice and solid. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've once that was done, I removed the square tubing and I put a little bit of glue on the sides. I didn't put it in the center, but I put it on the sides. There is a little bit of a gap in the center of the vertical for the servo wires. So I've gone ahead and I've put a little bit of glue on the sides and I glued that in, and I've also glued in my top section here. It's pretty easy to do, the T-tail. Make sure that you're at a 90-degree angle. What I did is I took a square and made sure that that was at a 90-degree angle. So it should be perfecto or close to it. And I went ahead and the little square pieces of wood for the servo control horns, I've already glued those in, and I did glue a servo onto there with CA. I'm going to get some small screws and screw it in so it'll hold real nice. And that is pretty much the T-tail. I have got to put in the screws for the center here, and the nut that goes on the bottom, and that kind of holds everything nice and snug. I've already glued in the support tubes up on top, so those are all glued in, and that is about it for the T-tail. The next time you'll see the T-tail will be on the tube and probably attached to the plane. So this is Mark from Canberra Hobby. This is the Asiatech drone Cyclops E, and we will be talking to you in a bit.